I purchased Witcher 3 in something like late 2017. I bought a Game of the Year edition and got a free soundtrack with my hard copy purchase. So I thought that was something. I watch a lot of gaming channels on YouTube. And at the time, there was not gaming video out there that didn't rave about Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt. Best game of all time, best game of this generation, best soundtrack of all time, best looking game out there, best facial animation, great combat mechanics. So I jumped on the bandwagon, purchased that game, and gave it a go. I obviously realized pretty straight away that this game has a really big learning curve, as it definitely does, especially if you have not played games like Skyrim or Oblivion in the past, which I didn't at the time. As having experience with games like this could possibly give you an edge. On a side note, I finally purchased the Xbox One X enhanced version of Skyrim, modded the hell out of it, and my very brief opinion on that matter is as followed. This is my opinion. I personally have never played many Bethesda developed games that I really liked. Skyrim is how old now? It still glitches out. It's a great looking game with all those mods that modders made, I'll give it that, but I personally could not get into it. Maybe it's because I played Witcher 3 first, and it's in my opinion, Witcher 3 is a far superior game. I especially couldn't believe how basic Skyrim's combat system is. In addition, I got a game-breaking glitch, too, early in the campaign of Skyrim. That's a video for another time, though. Back on point. My first playthrough in Witcher 3, I did literally a handful of missions, but mostly just rode around on Roach because I was definitely impressed by how pretty the game looked. Everything was forests and little villages, though. Forests and little villages. Later, I found I was just doing circles in Valen, riding Roach in giant big circles like the Blair Witch Project. I was maybe 12 hours in when I decided to start a brand new game and start again fresh. I kept thinking in the back of my mind and remember even telling people, maybe Witcher isn't my game. Not everyone can like everything after all, which is a fair point, but I digress. I decided to give Witcher one more play and try to actually learn how to play it. You can't accurately decide if you like a game or not unless you give it at least 2 tries. If you haven't given it at least 2 solid attempts, then your negative opinion on the game does not count. You can lawyer up and take that comment to the Supreme Court. Well, unless you can obviously tell the game's like utter trash, like you would see in a Halo 5, for instance, then you are clear to criticize it. There, I'll stand by that. So, try number 2, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I went back in head first, watched an important YouTube video called How to Enjoy Witcher 3 Without Giving Up. Shout out to BuckENbooz in this great video, because it's all about stick with the game and you won't be disappointed. I'll have links in the description about the 2 YouTube videos I will be mentioning. I played some of the same missions and took a great amount of enjoyment out of frolicking around on Roach. Just like the last time I played the game. I was cruising around on Roach one day when a great distance away, I and my significant other, who is my gaming navigator, noticed what looked like a big tall tower that was really far off in the distance. It was obviously very far away. I said, I'm going to try to find this tower and see what that's all about. It was very far away, like I said, and it kept disappearing behind mountains while trekking towards it, and it would disappear behind clouds and inclement weather. So I just followed where I thought it might be. I remember it was legit far away, though, so can't say that enough. And I had to climb off roads and swim across streams, then teleport my horse across the streams. As, if you have played Witcher, then you know that your horse does teleport. So on I go, traveling, and I declared anyone my enemy who would face the wrath of my blade and Witcher powers who tried to keep me from my mission. I eventually saw the giant walls of the city of Novigrad. I said, wow, neato. It was dark and rainy, as it usually goes in the northern realms, but a light went off in my head at that moment that this is a great game indeed.
You are great.
You're great too, Willow. You're great too. I started taking the game seriously at that point, eventually beat the game, purchased both DLCs, played all the missions I could before I prematurely started a New Game Plus. Refer to my other Witcher video about the New Game Plus. Also has some cool cyberpunk updates in it. It's like I almost did some real journalism in that video. Witcher 3 is my favorite game of all time because I gave it a second chance. I only gave Skyrim one chance, so my opinion on that game is still pretty meaningless, especially since I can tell that game has some great potential. And I do definitely want to give Skyrim another go at some point. Same with Oblivion. I could tell Oblivion had some potential too in the 8 minutes that I played it. As far as Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 go, I gave them two chances, and I sincerely and personally don't care for either game. Anthem? Shitloads of chances. If you haven't given Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt a chance, then give it one. You might very much enjoy it. If you only give it one chance and hung up on it, well, then that ain't enough. Give it another. It might be worth it for you. Also, very important, learn how to play Gwent and collect cards from different people that you will run into along the map to help build your Gwent deck up. That's a really fun game. I watched a video on YouTube on how to play that game, and that helps, and hands-on experience for Gwent helps as well. Gwent, like The Witcher, also has a bit of a learning curve. So when you learn how to play it, you'll play that game all day long. It's the best card game ever, and the best minigame ever too, in my opinion. Like, whoa! Also, on an important side note, Witcher is not a very buggy game. I only ever had one game crash. Ever. And the most minor of little tiny and irrelevant at times glitches here and there. But they're not very often. They're very few and far between. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is the whole package. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you feel like it. And if you want notifications, then ring that bell. It's always a pleasure, guys. Blessings.